I mean, because we can edit it later, like you say.
I'm just gonna scoot you that way just a little bit.
Ready? Four score and 70 million years ago, reptiles ruled the earth. They were huge, lumbering creatures, much like our local politicians.
Were they the original inhabitants of the earth? You know, how am I
I've
as far
done
as...
so many mic things that I came up with that back when. And that's my mic check monologue.
Let's see if we can hear each other. We don't have to put these on for the whole thing, but I'll make sure we sound good. I sound all right, and you might want to pull that mic a little bit.
Sure, absolutely. Are we
You sound
doing
pretty
good?
good. Yeah, you sound pretty
Hello,
good.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our show.
Yeah. All right. I'll pull that a little bit closer, actually, just a hair.
Roger that.
Oh, there we go.
Now he likes it.
Oh,
You can hear the
yeah.
whole timbre of my
Oh,
voice,
yeah.
not just
All right,
the highs
so
or lows.
we don't need those anymore,
All right, sounds good.
unless you want them.
But no, either way, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty flexible.
So sorry to interrupt what you were saying.
About which?
Before you're
No,
like,
no,
are we
we're
recording
just-
this? Maybe we should be.
No, we might as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
putting stuff down on tape, we might get some good stuff just off the
Yeah,
cuff.
exactly.
You know?
I totally agree.
So what the
I didn't
heck?
want to jump the gun though. 'cause
No,
I know
no.
you were wondering what's going on.
No,
And who I am. It was funny yesterday. Like, I don't know
I-
you from Adam.
I took a no, and IU, but
Yeah.
about last week, again, I'm going to talk a lot about dreams. Okay, that's just who I am.
Did you have a chance to watch that movie that I asked you?
Which one?
The
No,
Kurosawa?
I did not. You're going to need to
In
write
one
that.
night- in one night
You
you
have to
didn't-
write it down. I did watch a movie last night, but it was Steve McQueen. So, World War II bomber run.
Oh,
So,
gotcha. Yeah.
I love the King of Cool. But anyway, I was going somewhere. And I had you would talk about me being here, right?
Yeah.
A week ago or so, I had a dream. It was not a long one; it was short, but in it, I was preaching and talking, and it was just the feeling when I woke up is like that's my cue, and so
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I was more
yeah.
open to it, and I
Yeah.
was actually beginning to look. I was trying to decide if I should go to a church or go talk to somebody. Those sort of things, right? So the vibe was there, and I was just allowing myself to go to different places. And I walked into your store, and well, here we
There we
are.
are, yeah. And then you had a dream last night. You woke up at 3, and then I
Well-
think you said something over the phone that
I think
That-
right at this moment, and this won't make it on film, but between me and me, I don't think we should talk about the gateway a whole lot. In fact, I almost wondered if we should have a disclaimer if we get into this in a serious manner, because like I told you, there's the 3 levels of people, right? I mean, who am I supposed to be speaking to here? Am I speaking to a beginner? Am I moving this towards a mid-range or
that's the
or
magic
domestic?
that's the magic of the internet. You never know who you're speaking
Right,
to.
but I
Could be
don't,
speaking to the CIA, right?
and I'm sure I will be. But gateway is one of those things. There is the path that you walk, right? And I've got the picture of that. But there are shortcuts. There are power plants. Are you familiar with Carlos Castaneda?
Yeah.
Okay, he's one of my introductions way back when. I read all of his books when I was just in college. And some of those kind of things. But even in there, Don Juan tells him, that he's giving him this power plants, and he says, "Why is that the fast way?" And he says, "No, that's for the people who are stuck. You're kind of dumb and slow, and I have to use these things to get you moving." So there are shortcuts, and they're very useful, and they're totally appropriate. But like medicine, you don't just go take medicine because it's fun. That's not its purpose. So it needs to be done in a time and in a way that's appropriate. And Gateway is very strong. It is. And what's strange right now I'm finding is that I'm doing it now the 3rd time. It's like I'm listening to a totally different set of tapes than I listened to the first time.
So it's a set of tapes
Right.
that you just play the first one, and it's a 2-week sort of every day.
A little longer than that,
play-
about a month. I do one. I've done it as one a day, right?
And it's 30 minutes, or
Yeah, roughly that, 30 to 40 minutes, depending.
and it walks you through a meditation or visualization,
No.
or
No. What it does, well, at the beginning, there's your preparatory process. And the first thing the first ones help teach you how this is. So the first thing that you would do is you vision in your head, and I have a little trouble with this because I'm so logical. I don't see pictures real well anymore in my mind's eye.
That.
Right.
Yeah.
But you envision a strong box, right? Like a trunk, or I literally imagine in my mind a block of concrete with a concrete heavy lid on it. And you open that up and you place within it all your cares, worries, all that, and finally your physical body is put it in there, close the lid because you're not going to need it, it'll just get in the way. Then you turn away from that and you do what's called resonant tuning, where they play it and you suck the air into your bring clean air into your body, bring it up into your mind, hold it, and then let it go out. But as it goes out, you
the spoken ohm.
It's not the spoken.
I know, but
I
it
use a
came
spoken
from
ohm. Right, I use a spoken ohm because I resonate with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the sound is going. It's going in your ears. You're doing it along with. I don't know how to explain it, but that. Then the third thing you do
is there like a headphone thing? So
yes, okay.
You got one.
Pardon me,
one
you're right.
sound
I should
on
have
one
started.
side.
You start out. The Gateway program is.
This is a good thing we talked yesterday.
The HemiSync, right? HemiSync. And what it does is the two sides of your brain, normally they talk to each other, but they're not in sync. One might have different set of vibrations, the other one's it's kind of chaotic. And what HemiSync they found out is if you play a tone in one ear and you play another tone in the other ear, so let's say we're playing 100 megahertz in the right ear and we do 120 megahertz in the left ear, your brain will synchronize at 110 megahertz. Okay? Mm-hmm. And both halves of your brain are now synchronized together, which is also something that happens in deep meditative states. Okay? So those all things. Plus which he takes you down into a meditative, and what you're going through, like they have the different states. So the 10 state, literally number 10 state. And we always, people count 1, 2, 3 when they're hypnotizing someone, because what you're really using is self-hypnosis.
Right.
And the 10 state is the state at which your body is sound asleep, but your mind is awake and alert. So you put your body to sleep and you let your mind, and now it's synchronized. That's the 10, and that's your base state in the program.
So that's your starting point, basically. You get to that.
They work you up to that, and that's where things start happening. Oh, okay. That's kind of like access. When you're doing normal meditation, when you start out, you're working towards something that's called access concentration, okay? And it's hard. This is what beginners... Access concentration. Access concentration, right.
ACCESS.
Like I'm I'm opening this lock in order to access the room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what that is getting yourself to basically that same point. It's the point at which you can maintain silence in concentration over time without language. Okay.
Yeah.
And the ones that I used when I was young was you would count. You'd count your breath in. It's all breath work. The breath is very important. Yeah. We'll come to that later. But you count the breaths in, 1, 2, 3, 4, slowly, just watching the breath flow in and flow out, and the numbers are meaningless, they're just keeping track. And when you get to, say, 10, you then start over again. And you do that until you can do that 3 times in a row without your mind, the little monkey mind going, taking you off on your love's forgetfulness, which or whatever
can be
the
very,
thing is.
Very, very difficult. On
that is the most
days.
difficult.
Yeah.
The monkey mind is the one that there's the mind, and then there's the monkey mind, the words, all that babbling. Yeah. So once you get to the point where you can do that, now we're so used to talking and speaking on the out breath that now you maintain silence on the in breath. 1 in your mind. 2, right? Until you can do that to 10, say 3 times without your mind taking you off, worrying about your wife or your money or whatever the thing that comes into your mind, right? And then the last thing you do is once you attain that level, then you just sit quietly, observing the air flow in and flow out. Calm, relaxed.
Is this all happening in one?
No, this is happening over a month.
Okay. So this is
2 months.
This is a practice
for
each
someone who
day
just
to get
walks
there.
off the street, right?
Yeah.
No, well, the hardest thing to do, because we are taught to think.
Yeah.
You look at something, you don't see the thing, you see the concept of it that your mind has been taught. All right? So we're trying to break that through this. And this is just one method. There are different schools have different methods. This is the one that I used and knew. Okay? Mm-hmm. So now we're to the point where we can set for 5, 10, 15 minutes in silence, observing the air flow in and out. You have achieved access concentration. Now the interesting work can begin. That's just learning how to drive the car. Yeah. That's getting the motor started. That's getting the key in the lock, getting it turned on. Now we're ready to put it in gear and go somewhere. But that's the first step.
And a long first step.
Depends on the person and depends on how serious you are. And again,
and if you've been practicing prior,
and we haven't talked about it yet, but there's also the whole gamut of of states that we go through while we're here, right?
Yeah.
From
while we're on the planet,
Pasudevil, an animal spirit, going up to a true human to a citizen of heaven, and then citizen of heaven to the mystic, who's trying to yoke themselves to the deity, to remember who they are truly underneath it all.
So you started that story about the gateway saying this doesn't make it into the podcast. Today's
right.
Where do we start?
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking we're actually doing it right now. But I'm saying we can edit it or we can. I hope we can deal with it. I don't know how much we can edit, but
like if you were to say, okay, so
I can do that.
This is new for meditation's new for somebody,
right? And
this whole like understanding of we're more than just our physical body here on Earth is new for many people, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So where's the indoor? Where does it start for somebody that's interested in learning more? Where do we?
You mean
where do we start the podcast?
Where do we start the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, if we were to say, okay, this is episode number 1, and say we're doing a training video or something for brand new meditators or Buddhists or somebody that's more interested in finding out more about themselves. Where do you begin? Yeah, what do we
probably
what do we
with
teach?
What I just said. That's probably the start.
Focusing on the breath.
Yes, I mean
sitting
absolutely.
down, actually taking some time off the phone,
yes.
and away from your television.
Because in the old days, 1,000 or 100 years ago, sitting in, I don't know, are you familiar with Kung Fu, the TV show, Kwai Chang Caine and all that?
I don't think I ever watched it, but I mean, it was on all the time. It was one of those I skipped.
I was like 8 when it came on TV.
Watched the Brady Bunch instead of
that came on and I was glued to it. But anyway, think about the life and what they had to deal with back then, right? Life was pretty calm. I mean, you lived by the sun. You didn't have 1,000 different voices talking in your ear every minute of every day, right?
Yeah.
So it was much simpler to move into this.
Did I ever tell you I moved to Costa Rica for a year?
No.
With the family. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we. I had 3 adopted kids as a single dad, and I got a kid at 3 years old, and then I got a kid at 9 years old, just turned 9. Then I got a kid at 13. And they had appointments, and they had, school meetings, and they had their medications, you know, and they had, you know, whatever, therapy and
Right.
IEP meetings at school, you know, IEP meetings. I'm sure you've been to several of those as a prior teacher.
Last job I had in education was working with autistic children.
Okay. So I actually had a kid going to work with me every day when I was a dean of students, and basically put a real strain on my career.
Right.
You know, sitting in the dean's office. He got a teacher for 2 hours a week, and an hour a day, twice a week. He got somebody coming in to teach him.
Oh, okay.
And that was it. That was all he got, because they couldn't find a placement for him in public school because he was such a challenging.
What was his diagnosis, or what was his
It's a lot.
opposition defiant?
Yeah, no. He had PTSD for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the programs they put him in, they were for kids without PTSD. Like they were designed for different kinds of kids. Like when you're dealing with somebody with PTSD, you remove them from the situation so that they're safe and other people are safe.
Right.
But you don't have to retrain them how to behave.
Right.
Right. You just let them calm down and then put them back in. Well, they were trying to retrain his behaviors, and for many years. And I'm like, why are you doing this?
Right.
You know, he doesn't need to, he just needs to be separated and calm down and then put back into where he is. But they didn't trust him to be put back in.
Right.
So they'd retrain him. And that led to worse behaviors and everything else. And then medications to calm him down and sit him in a seat in the school. Anyhow, I did everything I could to like try to manage the situation and everything. And so I even like quit teaching, quit the education career, opened a coffee shop in Boulder so that I could free up some time for the kids, you know, and everything.
Sure.
Well, that fell flat on its face, you know, whatever. It was 2009, so it was the downturn of the economy. And I ended up selling everything I could and then taking the kids to Costa Rica, just as a kind of a restart. Right. And it was the best thing that ever happened, actually, to the kids, I think, too, because all of them got off meds. Right. You know, I think, if I remember right, they may have had phones, but there wasn't any cell service or anything, really. And I would teach them in the morning for 2 hours. They would do homework for 2 hours. I'd go to the waterfall. I had a job where I took pictures of people jumping off the waterfall. Get like 10 frames of them coming down. I'd sell them to them for $10 to tourists. Right. I make $70-$80 a day. Yeah. And then the kids would join me after they're doing their homework. And that's the way we lived on there for a year.
That sounds nice.
and it was great. And the kids would walk. I think it was a half an hour to the waterfall and back, or back was another half hour. If they wanted to go to the beach, it was an hour. Downtown for food, for stopping, you know, for a snack or whatever. It's a 45-minute walk. Okay. From our house. Right. So and it's hills like this. Right. You know, through exercise. Farmland, out in the beautiful, exercise. All got off their meds. All were very, very happy. All slimmed down, got muscles, you know. Like it was the greatest thing for them. Like, and then we come back, and then they have to walk, you know, 5 blocks to school, and they're bitching about it because it's too far. You know? Like, are you kidding me? Right. But that's what you do in the United States. You waste. Right. You waste away. It feels like the mind and the body.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you know.
No, the whole thing is off. Yeah. It's late stage capitalism. I mean.
Yeah.
We're not people. We're consumer units.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what the people that are running the society with their money and everything. That's how it's designed to keep us purposely.
Absolutely.
You know, medical industry and everything. Yeah. No. It's funny. I should make a list of the things that I want to make sure we get out and get changed into this podcast. Like one of them, for example, is like something stupid. Like, why don't I have access to my credit score? Right. For free.
For free, right.
Whenever I want it.
That's my credit score,
stupid, right? You know, something little simple like that.
Right. No, I hear what you're saying.
They do that to keep us in control.
100%. Absolutely. No, I mean, media is is absolutely, that's what it's designed to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you into Christian mythology or
Christian mythology?
right? Like Revelation.
I did I read Revelation? Yeah, I read the full. I read the full
Well, let's keep it back. Let's keep it more
New
in-
Testament and then half
right.
of the Old Testament. Yeah.
Right.
Basically, I got bored in Leviticus, I think. So
Yeah, well, and it doesn't really matter because when the New Testament came along, that's it.
right, yeah.
I mean, the
That
whole point
should be it.
Huh?
That should be it. But there's so many people that are living still by the Old Testament.
100%. But the whole point of the New Testament is that God came into the flesh and experienced. Before that time, God created the universe, set it all working, gave the rules, and you're supposed to obey. But he sets off. He's separate from, right? He's outside of it all. And so the new covenant came about because Jesus was God came into the flesh and experienced what it means to be a human being. The pain, the sorrow, the joy, all of that in the first person, not like reading it in a book. And then he hung on the cross and he felt that unbelievable. And the true moment of change was when Jesus cried out, my Lord, why have thou forsaken me? And God himself understood what it would be like to not have God in your life, right? And that's the power and the strength of the New Testament and the New Covenant, is that God literally understands that. That's why it's all about do unto others as you would have done to yourself. The whole thing comes
wasn't like that
from
in
that
the-
moment.
in the
Everything
Old
before that was just daddy giving rules.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
And so that's the real turning point there.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of the idea with hypothesis, whatever that that Jesus actually was given a drug on like before the crucifixion that would make him appear to be dead, like Laura's.
Oh, right.
And then that's why. And then 3 days later, he recovers. And that's why there's a drug out there that does that.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Yeah. And they knew it. I think that, I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, no, they.
See, this is why I need you as a co-host, because
right.
you have this memory that you could probably read something and go, yeah, well, that was so and so that mentioned
Right.
that in this thing, and I'm just
Well,
like,
I don't
heard
know
this
about
somewhere.
that, but I remember reading a book, which I really wish I could remember the title of it. But the basic underlying part of it is that a shaman was fighting with this guy in this world, right? And they explained it. It's like, well, how long did it take to create all of the technological stuff we have here? A couple thousand years, right? There's 50,000 years of history before that. Well, those people were no dumber than we were. So what did they explore? They explored the natural world. And in it, they found all these compounds, these drugs. I mean, their pharmaceutical expertise was probably better than ours. And the psychedelic, the way that you manipulate people's minds and all that with the drugs, right? And all of that. But so you take somebody who comes from a lineage that's 20,000 years long, the knowledge they're going to have about the world they live in is incredible.
Yeah.
It may be transmitted orally, but that doesn't change anything. Okay,
Yeah.
and so we're the upstarts. We got what 1,500 years, and even less than that.
And it's almost like it's been erased.
Right.
Whatever knowledge.
Oh, and that stuff is, and it's
and it's been erased.
pushed away.
I feel like,
But you
because
asked
of lack
me.
of being able to connect.
Right, but you say about could they have a drug that would do that? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, ayahuasca
Ayahuasca?
has been around for years and years and years and years and years. and
Absolutely.
Years. Native Americans use that for not just the Native Americans, everywhere.
More South American,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah,
But anyway,
yeah.
right. Well, the Native Americans probably had the toads, but I don't know if they didn't
well, I know
have
they
the eating.
they currently use it here and there. I know for sure.
Oh,
because
yeah,
they,
absolutely.
They find some kids missing in the woods by using it for. There's a movie I just saw.
It could be. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah.
But the Native American, yes. Again, you've got it was fairly much destroyed when the white man came here. But they had a culture that had lasted, again, thousands of years, and they had people that were doing. A Native American medicine man had knowledge and has knowledge of it. But they don't they see the world much more holistically, insofar as the power plants and plants have a spirit.
And the animals.
And they learned, both in India and like with the Hindus and Native Americans, it's all spiritual, right? In other words, we look for vibration and energy flows and physics and all. They put it into those language structures. Their language structure was spirit, which is much more pure, because in actuality, there is only one thing in the universe, and that is spirit. It just comes through and manifests in different ways. So the plant spirit, the spirit of, let's say, mescaline, which is a psychedelic cactus, spoke to them and said, I mean, how did they find this stuff? Do you think they just went around eating every single plant to see if it got them off or not? I mean, you'd lose a lot of medicine men that way.
Yeah, there's technology involved.
There's exactly. There's a technique. There's a way of finding it, and it has to do with allowing yourself to get into those states and places where you can resonate with the energy of the thing. And it will draw you to it. You can walk through and you can see it. You can feel it. If you can get to that level of...
Well, sometimes it's told to you if you can get to that level.
That's what I'm saying. Same word, different, same concept, slightly different way of saying it, but it's the same. That's what I'm saying. They speak to you, and not because you ate some psychedelic substance. An oak tree can talk to you.
And those of you who believe we're talking out our asses, just think of the savant syndrome, which is a common accepted event or something from scientists all over. It's accepted, savant syndrome. You knock your head in some way and all of a sudden you speak a new language. Where did that come from?
Right.
Where did that come from?
But on another one, I'd read this in a book, and I've tried it, and you can try and experiment yourself. If you can you don't need to get all the way to access concentration. I mean, however, if you do, then this really is it's a lot more efficacious. Go out into the woods, sit down, and take yourself lean up against a pine tree, a softwood tree, and meditate. Yeah. And a certain feeling will come over to you. Yeah. A few days later, go do the exact same thing next to an oak tree. You'll feel differently. And it's real. It's not and you can go to different trees and then you go back to the softwood and it'll take you back to the same place.
Huh.
Right.
I've never tried it with different trees, but I do know that when you actually legit hug a tree, you feel it.
It hugs back.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing. And call me a tree hugger or whatever, but if you've never done it, go do it, because it's the craziest thing. You feel it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just go out and be in the woods and just feel the difference.
Yeah.
Of that's our natural environment. That's what we were evolved to be in, and we communicate with it, and it communicates with us. And this is all true. And that all comes from the fact that it's all one. We're all one thing. We just got separated out in a different way.
So, considering that, the natural world and how it speaks, and the foundational natural world, and we throw in the DMT machine elves.
Okay.
What sort of world is that coming from? Because I know it's got to be a different realm, and because it's so
well, first of all,
completely different than.
Well, let's step back a second and say this: your body, we all know, that your body produces DMT inside of the pineal gland.
Yep.
All right. Did you know that your body also produces THC?
You told me that yesterday.
Right,
actually,
exactly.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And the reason we smoke marijuana, well, your body has to have a receptor for those chemicals or it wouldn't affect you, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
if you don't have a receptor
Then
for
it's
it in
just
your
gonna be a
body,
wall.
it's just a substance that travels into your body and out of it, and nothing happens.
Right.
So the DMT experience has to be tied into something. I've not actually done it myself. I was a psychonaut when I was younger on the
Other
systems that we had at that time.
things that you'd spend 5 to 8 hours on instead of 15 minutes.
Oh, exactly. Depending also on how much you're willing to take. And I'm always one that, how do you know you made it?
Yeah, you talked to me about going over the edge. Just
Going
a
over
little
the
bit.
edge, right? But anyway, so I'm pretty sure, I mean, the things that I've read and seen, and I think this is probably accurate, because you talk to people about near-death experiences, people who've traveled to the other side and back. There's very consistent explanations and whatever. And the few times that I've been that far, either through pain or psychedelics, whatever, you have these experiences. My personal thing is that's the gateway to the spirit world. It's when you die, I think they're literally traveling beyond the veil. I think you're literally looking at, what happens. That's the pathway that reintegrates us into the thing we came from to be here. That's the pathway there and back. My guess is when you're born, you come through that, and that's where they talk about the River Lathe, where you lose your memory. I mean, mythology talks about that. That's it.
Yeah, I agree. I just get confused of why they're digital, why there's like machines, why they seem to be.
Well, again, I have not experienced it, so I can't speak to it from my own experience. But it's not really. Well, if you've got a really major computer program, there are levels to it, and there are different parts that are plugged into it, right? There's an architecture within the program.
Yeah.
You've got your base one of machine language that runs that the machine's talking to itself, and then there's a level above that where it's the part where it interacts with the human being, with sight, sound, and all of that. And then there's actually the logic of the program, and then there's the program itself that you're interacting with. So there's these different levels in the program. I would speculate that it's the same thing in the DMT world. The machine elves literally are that level of it. There's like the base. It's like the architecture, and then you have these different programs. The mother who comes. You familiar with that one?
No.
Many people, when they go in, will meet this female. They call it the mother, and she comes and
I've seen pictures, I think, of her.
Right.
Yeah,
But what her job or her thing is she'll look at you. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me help you with that. Bam. And she'll give you a lesson. Now, if it's trauma, you have what you call a bad trip. But that's simply her helping you work through the trauma to bring it back out of the subconscious to where you can deal with it, let it go, make amends, whatever it is. If you're already past that and you're at a level in your life where you're pretty well adjusted, but you're overly into money or greed or one of the 7 deadly sins, then she'll give you a vision or a lesson about why that's holding you back, and maybe you should try something different. And if you're fairly spiritually advanced, she might just take you in her arms and show you the next phase, So she comes to you and reads you and then gives you the lesson you need or the medicine you need or whatever, right? So that's her role in that realm. Then you have other entities who have different roles. Maybe they're the
jokester.
The jokester, sure. There you go. That would be one who's just, his job is just to wake your ass up. Just, that's the Hyoka from the Native Americans, the coyote, right? All these traditions have that same entity, that same concept, which takes and pulls you again. It's teaching you a lesson. He's just, he's a trickster, he's, you never quite know what, you may not
like
enjoy
legit,
it.
he appeared to me like, ah!
Right, exactly. Wake up. Well, is that not wake up?
That's exactly what it was.
Something's going to happen. Wake up. Here it comes. You ready? Right. But that's from what I can read and with the, knowledge of those worlds. For me, it was much more like, LSD and psilocybin.
Yeah.
Mescaline.
Did you see similar entities? Do you remember when you were involved in those experiences?
No, the LSD was like, I was young, and so it was tripping. But I always had a different goal. I was always the whole Jim Morrison, break on through to the other side. I'm looking for something in here, right? It's not just the colors and all that. That's fun. Yeah. Though I will, a story about it, since we're on this topic, psilocybin, one of the major turning points in my journey came from psilocybin. I was alone. I've got some spiritual pictures. I kind of agree that I did trip alone, and I did I got home and I decided I was going to do it, and I just didn't think about it, and I just grabbed the bag and dumped it in a glass and shot some lemon juice on it and water, and I don't know how much I took, but I obviously took more than I thought I did. I'm guessing it was, 3 or 4 grams.
Just over the edge?
No.
Way over the edge?
Way over the edge.
Sounds like
and what happened, though, is the thing that I really learned from it was, and I've known this for a long time, the trip is fun, but that's not really where you learn it. That's not where the work is done. Because what it does, the human being, we've got the physical body, and then we've got a mental body, and then we have a spiritual body. These different sheaths, right, that you can grow. Yeah. And with the drug, especially like if you take that much, it grabs you and it just chucks you, and you go out of your body, you go out through the mouth, you're out beyond the spirit realm. You're totally in the spirit realm, right? And then those kind of things meet and talk to you, and you have these experiences. But I was really fighting with the monkey mind. But I was doing pretty good. I was starting to get it there. And when I came back, I realized that, and I was taught this when I was young, if you're going to use psychedelics, you never use them without a 3-day window between it. You take it today, you do not take it again for 3 days. Because what happens if you don't, you get thrown out there, but you don't make it all the way back.
3-day journey back.
It's 3 days. You take the first day you come back through the spirit. The second day you come back through the mind, and the third day you're back in the body, right? Yeah. And this is boilerplate now. Anybody's going to try this, this is a rule. This is not a suggestion I'm making. This is the way it is. Because if you don't, you trip before you get back. If you do it too many times, you lose track of where you're at. And then when you come back, you crash into it. And that's, it's like you go higher and you don't come all the way to the ground. You only come down this way and you jump again, and then you jump again, and then you jump again.
Yeah.
And then you come down from all of that. And that's why people just break up. So anyway, back to my original story. So I did this, and it blew me out. I mean, there was a moment there where I'm sitting in my living room, and something takes me, and I fly right out through the window, right across my yard, and there were these 2 pillars there. They're not there, but in the trip. And I went right between them, and I'm gone. I'm out. It's never happened like that before.
So a little back, you were by yourself, and you're how old?
Right now?
You were how old when you were doing this?
61.
So this is recent.
60. Oh no, this is new stuff. This is like I said, this is the last few years have been a lot of progress in a hurry. But when I'm coming back, for some reason, the next day I'm sitting there and I know I can feel I'm still out there. I mean, I know the feeling. I know pretty much where I am. But when I started coming in, the first of those phrases, there's these phrases that you hear in your mind, you come back to, oh, my mother, blah, 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 whatever it is. And you always, that one came back. And I stopped and I went, no, wait, I'm not downloading that. I'm not downloading any of that stuff this time.
Huh.
And I just sat. And 3, 4, 5 times during the day, they'd start up. No, I'm not downloading that. I'm not reloading that back in. As I come back, I'm not picking that back up. And the second day, different ones for the mind. The first one, those were spirit. They were more like feelings. I'm not downloading any of that crap. Pardon my language, but that's the way I talk to myself. And I didn't. And I did the first day, I made it through the whole day. Slept the night, got up the next morning. Now these are thoughts, you know. And every time they came up, I said the same thing. I'm not downloading it this time. I'm not downloading it. All the way back into my body. Everything changed. They stopped.
Serious progress. Like
they no, it was like taking an eraser, and instead of going through 15 years of therapy, I just went and erased it. But don't think that you can don't think you can just go out and do this. This is after years of me learning to identify those things, and so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
in other words,
I was going to ask you if somebody taught you to do that when you're coming back, like to say
I could say it was my spirit guide, or I could say I don't know. All I know is this is what happened. Okay, I'm not going to take the time I'm not going to try and rationally. And this is but it worked. Yeah. And to this day, some of those things, those little demonic things that were messing with my head are gone. They've never come back. I banished them.
It's awesome.
Right. Oh yeah, more than awesome.
That's why it's being used now for therapy.
I want to talk to them and say, I hope you're not just trying to use the trip. Because the real work comes the next 3 days. Yeah. The real ability to do work comes the next 3 days.
Yeah, well, I'm still trying the DMT thing,
right.
I'm still trying to figure that out. It's been months.
Right.
You know?
Well, DMT, I don't think you should so much try to figure it out as just have the experience and see what it brings.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, wait until sooner or later I'll try it. But, but until then. But I had used these other ones. Like, so mushrooms, I've been doing them off and on for a long time. Yeah. Right. It's a power plant. And so that's there's that's for what it's worth.
So you had said that when you were younger, you dabbled in psilocybin and LSD. You didn't tell me that when you were 61, you were still doing LSD or psilocybin.
Well, whatever.
I guess you were younger at 61.
I do. Well, no, I have a path. I'm walking my path, and I use whatever I can use to make it to the end of my path. And I make I won't apologize.
Yeah, and
I won't.
And that's the problem. That I think that's what the jester, the Joker, was trying to tell me.
Right.
Is don't apologize.
No.
You're trying to please others. Yep. Stop it.
Right.
Stop trying to please others. It's not about
but
others.
like I said, the whole point though is that I've lived with a Native American. I've studied all this philosophy. I've read these things. I've got the spiritual background. I had already by this point in time pretty much worked through the first 3 or 4 chakras, as far as balancing and clearing them.
Before we go there, you started talking about you as a history. So
right. But what I want to say is that this is important for anyone listening to don't just go eat 4 grams of mushrooms and think you're going to have my experience.
Right.
You have to have the preparation before it. It's just like if you're going to run a marathon, you don't just go sign up.
Right.
You got
to try 1 gram first, and then 2 grams.
It's not even the drug itself. Right. It's that the energy that flows through your body has to be able to flow through these. I was up into these areas at that point in time, which therefore allowed me to see the experience and I had the awareness. I could step out of myself and look at myself and watch what I'm doing non-judgmentally. I mean, it's that there's the thing seen, the seer, and the one who watches, right? That's what meditation is trying to get us to, is the one who watches. You have to be able to do that. And if you're still all hung up if you're down in the water chakra where you've got problems and you got people and they're taking all this stuff going on, then the drug is going to help you work on that. or if you're in your heart one, where if you touch it, it becomes your reality, and you get sucked into things, and all of those, the things that go on there that happen when you're not balanced and open, right? You have to. So that's what I'm trying to say. Sometimes using my anecdotes, I don't want people to walk out and just think that that's going to happen to them. Because
Right.
The mushroom doesn't do that. The mushroom does that with you because you're at the place where you can have
Let's talk a little bit about your history with meditation and with
Sure.
discovering you. You know, you told me yesterday you started at like 11 or 12 years old and started.
It
really
depends
kind of,
upon how you look at it. My grandmother, when I was very, very young, my mother taught school, and so I would stay with my grandmother, who was a staunch Methodist. I mean, she was strong in her faith, and she passed it on to me. One of the earliest things I remember was my grandma telling me that the only way to go to get to heaven is to know Jesus, right? And I went on, I thought about it, and I came back and said, Grandma, that can't be right. God wouldn't throw people into hell if they lived in China.
You mentioned this to your grandma?
Literally, this is the conversation I had. I said to her, that's not right. I mean, God wouldn't punish people if they lived in China and never heard about Jesus, right? But not so much that, but the precociousness of it, but the fact that my grandma and I were having that kind of conversation.
And this is why your mom is teaching and you're not in school yet. So you're
right. So
you're very young.
I'm very young. Yes. And she put me on that, and that put me on this path. And she was probably like, what is this freaking 4-year-old talking to me about? No, she was, well, I don't know.
She probably told your mom, like, he keeps asking me these weird questions.
No. Grandma and I had a real strong relationship. she was just more than happy that I was there. But I could trace it back to that point, right?
Yeah.
I certainly wasn't eating mushrooms at
right,
6 years old.
Yeah.
But no.
You never know what grandma was feeding you for lunch. Right?
Well, not this one. No, I'm pretty sure.
As a staunch Methodist, right?
Right. They lived up in like northern Wisconsin. There just aren't a lot. You can't just go out and pick them like you can in Oregon. But anyway, but that took me into Christianity, right? Which I was immersed in up until I was a teenager, right? And that gave me that base and background, right? Because I was in Methodist Youth Fellowship, I was in the choir, I was, the whole 9 yards. I was completely immersed in that thing. And I always got along well with the ministers and just the whole thing, right? Yeah. It was just I just felt comfortable there. So I also had that base, that thing. If I got into too much trouble or it started getting too scary or too weird when I was tripping, I could step back and go, Jesus, help me, or put myself back into that. So I always had that base, that anchor.
Yeah.
Right. Which then allowed me to explore more and explore more and explore more.
That's how it always starts here in the United States. It starts with that firm faith foundation, and then a lot of questions.
It does whatever the first thing is the faith. You have to have that. Yeah. You have to know and believe and have a
desire to know more. Then
and the structure that you can retreat to.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't go out on.
So
the
a lot
ocean.
of people don't have a desire to know more.
Right.
They're solid in their faith and they're good with it. And that's cool.
No, absolutely. Again, human beings are on a continuum. I mean, if you believe in reincarnation, it takes many lifetimes to work through this little game. This isn't a one-shot deal.
Yeah. See, I grew up, I think I started, doing my own self-hypnosis and meditation probably in early high school, maybe late middle school. Mm-hmm. And then when I went to college, we were dragged to church a couple of times by my mother. My dad was not religious at all growing up. And when I went to college, I found Campus Crusade for Christ.
There you go.
Led my own Bible study groups in my dorm, and went to meetings and everything. Did the prayer groups and all that stuff. And then we were like moving on too quickly for some people, and then not kind of like unfriending, I guess is the term you use nowadays, but and then leaving people behind like that weren't
Right.
growing fast enough. And I was like, it didn't feel good to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so I kind of like broke off and I started exploring other things, went back to meditation, and it felt a lot like prayer.
Right.
I think the prayer felt really good, you know, doing the prayer groups. It's a kind of meditation. I mean, you're talking, you're vibrating that vagus nerve, you know,
Yep.
it's great.
Yep.
And then I went to Naropa,
Mm-hmm.
and then started meditating, you know, for real at the Buddhist temple.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of sprung from there,
From there,
you know.
right.
Yeah. But I had that sort of desire to go beyond the practice of Christianity and,
Right.
and prayer and things, and like trying to figure out
Yeah.
why, where is this from? What is this going on? Why, you know, in the first paragraph of Genesis, does everything contradict itself? You know, like what's it really talking about?
Right.
And is it a metaphor? And blah, blah, blah. And so that's kind of where my
Where it came from.
springboard,
Sure.
the
Yeah,
desire
absolutely.
to grow came
No,
from.
you kicked on something there, because like it was probably in middle school. I started playing with this thing where as I would fall asleep, I would try and maintain my consciousness my awareness as deep into it as I could. I don't know why. Again, I have no concept of how I came up with that one.
Yeah.
And I wound up doing it. I mean, I got myself into an incredible meditative states without even realizing what I was doing. Now that I look back on it, I haven't thought about that in a long time. But yeah. I mean, like out of body almost, or you know, going things and
Just
happening.
kind of seeing yourself lay there falling asleep kind of thing?
No, I
Being
would just
aware
keep just as I'm falling asleep, relax, but try and stay conscious keep my conscious train going, stay aware of what's going on as I fall deeper and deeper into sleep.
That'll put you in meditative state.
Oh,
yeah.
majorly.
Yeah.
I never even realized that.
That's happened to me
right.
actually a couple times since opening the studio again,
Right.
and restarting the meditation. And it happens a lot when I've had like a busy day and I'm able to like calm the mind
Right.
and actually focus on something. And I could just feel my body sort of like melting into the bed and just kind of sinking almost. Yep. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the first like dream kind of picture comes, and if you stay with it, you can go places and experience things that
I'm gonna have to try that. Usually I just wake up and go, oh good, I'm falling asleep, and then
right. Well, most of us are so tired and don't play with those different states of mind, right?
Yeah.
And that was way before I used drugs. I mean, there was nothing. I was just a good little Christian.
It sounds like you were thinking there was something else.
Like I said, the path opens. You know, one of the most important things, and we'll repeat this because this is important for people. That which you're searching for is searching for you.
Yeah.
In all of these things,
We should talk about how we met.
Right. But I'm just saying the idea that there's a God somewhere, or you know, depending on what it is, and Meister Eckhart, ancient or not ancient, probably around the time of Luther, he was a Christian mystic, one of the very intense Christian mystics, and he said, you know, God's at home. We're the ones who wandered off. If you think about that for a little while, there's a lot to that. You know, we wandered off and we're trying to find our way home. But God still, you know, it's like Dad sitting back there. It's like, I really want him to come back, you know, the whole prodigal son idea, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
The whole concept of God did go awry, I guess, for me for a long time. And
well, it's gone awry.
Still sort of like a buzzword, I guess.
Right.
You know. And I think it is for a lot of people.
Right.
It's become the universe. It's become source. It's become,
Right.
you know, all these different things. But it's God.
It's God, right.
There's got to be something that you know, if you think of like a little one-celled egg and a little one-celled sperm,
right.
and that's it. That's two little cells.
Two little
and they
packets of DNA.
meet each other, and it turns into this freaking
right.
thing of flesh that can. Something's gone on.
Something's getting passed on. Right.
So,
well, I guess the other thing is that, like we talked about, you know, you look at something, you don't see it, you see your word for it. So when you say God, there's a picture in your mind of what that is. That is not what it is.
Right.
That's your picture of what it is.
Yeah, that's the big frustration that I've had for many years. Like I'm sorry, but there's not somebody that looks like me sitting on a throne going,
no, absolutely.
And waiting for, I know they say Jesus sits on his left side or something, and you're supposed to sit on the right or something when you get to the, but that doesn't make sense to me, and especially my mom thinks that we're going to be this body when we get to heaven.
Right.
I just,
doesn't ring true.
It doesn't make any.
No. It doesn't ring true.
Yeah. So it's got to be something different than what.
Right.
But we just have this concept of it because we can relate to it and understand it a little bit better. But it's
everybody has to have a way, and again, there's the concept of the path, right?
Yeah. The
All
path.
Right. Use that metaphor of the mountain, right? There's a mountain that everybody has to climb to the top of, and there's only one point at the top. But if you come at it from the north, wow, it's solid cliffs all the way up. And you come at it from the south, it's trees and there's all this. And so where you come at it from makes it look different. And there are paths that go up it, and so those are what we call religions, right? So certain one like a Catholicism or Buddhism, that's a big highway that a lot of people travel on as they go up the path, right? But all of that existed from the time that human beings were human beings. That mountain and that path was there before the religions, before all of that. So the true path lies within you. It's just a matter of exploring it. And 90% of it, here's one for you. 90% of spiritual growth is getting out of your own way.
Yeah.
Making your mind shut up and see the world as it is.
It's almost like it was given to us for a challenge. Like here's a body with an ego.
Well, if you believe in the devil, he's doing a great job because that concept as a metaphor or whatever. And that's what all of this. I mean, we're so wrapped up in this. How could people can't? But if you have purpose and tenacity, you will get there.
In many lifetimes.
Or one.
Maybe one.
It all, who's to say? Who's to say how mature your karma is?
I want to tell you about
who says how mature your karma is when you begin?
Yeah.
I don't think we all start from zero.
There are old souls,
We don't all start from zero.
Right. I do want to tell you about this.
Yeah, please go
this
ahead.
Trip. I got to go to the bathroom first. So you might want to take a quick break.
No, go ahead.
We'll make.
I thought I felt it.
Should have started with a little gong.
She's.
Dan's feeling something from the.
Oh no, she's one of my loves. I have that. I've lived with her since I was 30 years old. That is incredible. See the earth, that represents the earth chakra, right? Water chakra, the flame, she's air. She's the Dakini of the air. And she holds the two flowers, the story of the lotus.
Tell me.
Another time, but in a minute.
Okay.
This is more.
Okay.
And, I could feel it. Yeah, she's incredible. But that's very high. She's this chakra right here. That's what she controls it. And these pictures, I've got a whole set from I've got one for each of the chakras, and I believe it or not, I had a friend when I was out in Corvallis, Oregon. I was teaching at a university, and I met up the drug dealer and got to be quite good friends with him. And he one day he looks at me. We got high and we're sitting around, and he looks at me and he says, I got something you should have. And he pulls these out. I'm sure somebody had them. I'm not going to say how they might have got them, but he must have traded him for a bill that he had. He says, "You're the only person I've ever met who might understand these." And I've lived with him ever since. And that's one of them.
He might be an interesting one to pull in for a podcast. The drug dealer that gave
I've lost touch with him way back then. But that's how they came to me.
Yeah.
Was so, but mine were done by Nepalese monks, the monks in Nepal, and they're line drawings, right? But I tell you what, you look at them while you're on high, really high, and I could see colors in them. The one danced one night. She was doing, it was incredible. There is so much power in them that it's.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, these pictures were all created for a pre-literate society. So the entire religion is contained in the iconograph. If you understand the symbolism of it, and if you understand the symbol of all of the set, you know the religion. It's all there. Right. No, I just, all of a sudden, I could feel something.
Is that the same with the mandalas? Mandalas are supposed to be like the temples from above.
That's different tradition, I think, more than anything, right? But yeah, the mandalas have the energy too. They're just not, these are the ones that's mine. No, I first saw that one up there, which is a wrathful deity, also in the air. It's interesting that you've got so many of them in the air realm, the air chakra, from the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Have you ever familiar with that one?
I think I have that.
Yeah,
I recently purchased it.
Well, there you go. Right.
I need a translator for.
She's like the peaceful
most
deity.
of the concepts.
Oh.
So let me tell you
Be
this
happy
really,
to.
really
Go ahead
quick.
and ask maybe that's what we should do for a while. Just ask me questions.
Yeah, well, I want to ask you what you make of this crazy trip I had.
Oh,
so when
time out for just a second.
Yeah.
Okay. I think today this is what we should do. We can once we get because we're learning each other's language, we're learning each other's play style, right? Once we have a little bit better understanding here, then we can sit down and decide what our itinerary is, and lay out the steps or stages, and we might want to do things in different areas. I could do 6 weeks on 1 week on each of those drawings and bring them in, right? And show you what they mean.
The foundations of Buddhism,
whatever you want,
yeah.
right? Or psychedelic trip, psychedelic spirituality. I don't care what it is.
But a 10-minute podcast, and it could be a 2-hour podcast.
Precisely.
Whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And that's. But what I'm saying is we're still learning each other, and we need to. There's a definite harmony here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm having way better conversation than I've ever had with anybody else.
No, but you and I there's a thing here. There's no question about it.
I totally
knew it when
agree.
I walked in the door. I knew something was going on when I came out. My daughter actually did the film festival down here for the city a few weeks back, and when I walked in, it's like I know I'm coming back here.
In the Rad or the Hollywood?
Okay. Hollywood, yeah, it was in the Hollywood. Okay. Really, she did a really good job. She picks up really cool shows. But she works with this. She has an at-home job, but she works with the city on this one committee, and they was dealing with our sister cities. So each of these films was made in one of our sister cities.
Oh, okay,
right.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really neat. It was a cool little film festival. But anyway.
I totally agree. I think,
but I think that stepping out of it for a minute and talking about the nuts and bolts, right? And then that way, yes, we can definitely chunk it down, because you can see if you're not careful with me, we can go all over the place. I've been doing this.
Really?
I did this for my whole life, and I said I won't talk about it until I get the sign that I can, right?
Yeah.
So I have stuff. I could talk for a half an hour on Terence McKenna. I see that it's interesting that you have a picture of that. I went to my parents' house. And next door, there was a Hmong shaman living, right? You know, I'm in my house. He's over in that house. I had a dream that night where I was a tiger. I was walking through the jungle. I could feel myself purring, and they actually purr. I could feel it moving. I could feel my body. I could feel the rippling of the muscles as I walked through. I mean, I was the tiger. And all I can assume is that something clicked. But it's the only way I can explain it. It was standalone dream, and I know it was. I connected with him. I really wanted. Unfortunately, he died like not too long after that.
Hmong shaman.
Yeah.
Local guy.
Yep. No, they're around us. I mean,
Yeah,
I wanted to tell you.
I had a guy come in who was Hmong and looking for a Buddha, specific type of Buddha.
Right.
And had a lot of reasons for it. And he was a very interesting guy.
Do you know that there's 2 Zen monastery or Zen retreat centers within 40 miles of here?
I knew there was one around Madison.
No. Hokioji is just outside of New Albin.
Cities? No, I didn't know that.
Right. There's Hokioji, that's just outside of New Albin, and Romanji, Romanji is the main monastery, and that's down by Dorchester, Iowa.
Okay.
And then
I've heard of the one in Dorchester. Yeah.
And then Hokioji is an offshoot of that. And then above Lansing, there's a Tibetan. There was a Tibetan Lama lived there. You know, he's passed away, but they built a temple. They've got a stupa that his ashes are in there, and then they've got a thing there. So and they do some types of rituals and morning things and whatnot there, right? But the actual Lama that they had is no longer there.
I do want to do. There's a guy in Costa Rica that came from Tibet, I believe,
Right.
who offers like week-long silent meditation retreat.
Right. But it would
pretty
be
affordable. It looks like
if this thing gets going at all, they would be people we could go or either bring in or go down there and talk to them
for sure. And I think that's something that we can talk about too. Like if we're gonna focus on something, is there somebody around we can bring in that's an expert too that we can, So let me tell you about this crazy thing. So they had at the co-op here in town, they had these tinctures.
Yep.
THC, whatever tinctures or Delta
9
or whatever it was. I'm not too up on all that, but basically like like there was 500 doses, 5 milligram doses in this thing, or 100 or whatever it was. Like I'm flying on 5 milligrams.
Right.
And so I took like a teaspoon of it and put it into a glass of water. Way too much. Right. But I mean, it was really kind of scary too much because it was overwhelming and unexpected. And but basically, what I was seeing was like balls of each ball upon ball layered upon one another in every direction you can think of, this way, that way, every other way. Kind of in a roller coaster effect, rolling on each other in and out, and and each of those balls was a life that I had lived or was going to live, and I would recognize them, and I would pop into one,
right,
and I would feel like relieved, like, oh, I'm here, I recognize this, yes, and then it wouldn't resolve, and I'd pop out, and I'd be back in that rolling ball of with all these lives coming through from every direction, and I'd pop into another one, and it wouldn't resolve, and I'd pop back out, and I'd pop into another one, feel relieved, and it wouldn't resolve, and it just nothing ever freaking resolved,
right,
and I just lost hope, and it was literally the first time that I've ever felt like I could take my own life.
Right,
because it's just nothing ever resolved.
Right,
and then I thought, like, well, I wonder if this is what happened to so and so that took his own life when he was wasted one night or something. He overdosed or something. He was seeing this, couldn't deal with it, didn't have anybody to help him through it, and then
Yeah, you got to
know?
be careful. You should have.
It was.
If you're doing a lot of things, you should have a babysitter.
Yeah.
That was always another one of the rules.
Yeah. But what do you think that is? I mean, is that our lives? Is that kind of what we go back to?
Well,
or is it our attempt to find resolution and to get out?
No, that was a personal experience, I think. One of two things. I could talk about the idea, again, God is, we are all God, or that energy flows through everything, and we are manifestations of it. So maybe you were actually seeing it from more of that perspective. In other words, that thing goes into each of those and they don't resolve and you pop out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure that one feels more. Does that feel at all?
I mean, I can see the energy, but it doesn't make sense that it's so terrifying.
No, well, no. Okay, terrifying. Well, then,
like the non
like I said, I don't know.
resolve.
I don't know exactly. I don't know where you're again. If you're in a certain, like if you're down in the water, deep in the water chakra, right? In other words, that one is dark and you're way down and it's cold and it's not in place. Most people don't start coming back up until they have a dark night of the soul kind of an experience, right? Where you just go, I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well try something, and anything. I've been to that point where, if I kill myself, it's all over. If I'm going to take that much energy to do that, I could put it somewhere else. I'm going to try that instead first. But it was totally an option. It was, in fact, seemed like the right option, right? But I guess I need the balls. But did they feel like they were you, or did they feel like you were experiencing? In other words, you get what I'm trying to say?
I think it felt like it was. Some of them had been me.
Okay.
Some of them will be me. But everything else around were balls of potential of me.
Oh, okay.
Because there was like an aura around the major life ball that I could by a decision I could move it a little bit, but it was like really difficult to move it far.
Was this okay? What was the situation again? Were you?
I was wasted
on THC though,
yeah,
just THC.
Delta 9.
Oh, really? My word!
It was way too much.
I've hallucinated once or twice on
Dude,
that.
I had this thing
like
where I was
that.
like, I would go like, and I'd be like, I'm okay. I'm seriously okay.
Right.
Listen to me, and telling my partner, listen to me. I need you to keep us safe.
And then back into it, right? So you were doing a porpoise thing.
And I
dive
knew,
in,
yeah,
and
I knew what I was doing.
Right.
I knew I was going and being crazy, but I couldn't stop it.
No.
And that was terrifying too, because I know my aunt. She's been saying it isn't right all her life, for the last 20 years of her life, and she's nuts.
Right.
I think she had finally passed away, but anyhow. She knew she was saying this, but she couldn't stop it or something. And I didn't want to be that for the rest of my life, where I'm saying we're going wah, 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 wah,
No.
and unable to stop it. So that was terrifying too. Like, am I going to be nuts the rest of my life and not be able to stop it? There's a bunch going on, I guess there. But
right, but you were beyond time. But you weren't prepared for it and didn't know how to handle.
I was beyond time.
You're right. You were, in other words, you weren't in a place yet where you were comfortable handling being beyond time, right?
Right.
So
that's
sure. Where that came from, right? That part of it, because you're in an environment that you're not prepared for. You've got thrown into it.
I was definitely not prepared for it. Yeah. That makes
and
sense.
your perspective, were you a bubble or were you a disembodied perspective? Where were you?
I would pop into the bubble,
but before that,
I was disembodied.
You were just seeing this, and then you would zoom to this point, and you would come out of that.
Exactly.
But you didn't have a form or a color.
No,
or
I was an observer.
You were just
until I popped
point.
in.
You were just a point of view. Right. Okay. Yeah, you got shown. You took yourself into one of them that you needed to work through, and also probably were showing you that, I don't know, maybe you were needed to be broken out of your rut a little bit and show there's more to it, right? That would be one. And the bubbles, that one, I mean, this is outside of my experience. So I'm trying to think of what question. Those are the main questions I would ask, is where were you coming from? The fear.
But those are great, because that's something that I didn't tell you, but that's
Right.
exactly what,
What?
I was able to, I mean, it wasn't go like, I wasn't going like, I'm not sure that
Right.
I knew exactly how to answer those questions.
Right,
You
exactly.
you asked the right questions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So there, I don't know if I can take it much farther, because were the bubbles static, or was there
Absolutely.
life moving through them? I mean,
The lives were happening inside the bubble as
Inside
it passed
the bubble.
by as well.
You're in the same one, tubes. I saw tubes.
Tubes that make sense.
You saw bubbles, because I saw the whole life from one end to the other, and they were all stacked up in this big, huge.
I was gonna mention that dream to you yesterday, and then
Right,
you
but I'm saying
continued to
that-
tell me that
so
was tubes.
My guess
It
is
wasn't quite matching up.
you
but
were experiencing the heart chakra, the fire chakra, which is also scary because it's fire. But you were seeing that was it, but you couldn't go into them because they probably weren't really you. Either that, or, like you said, they were either you before or you in the future, right? So you couldn't go into them and stay.
Well, when I got in, I would recognize
with
the
the
light,
surrounding. So, all right. So the universe was telling you, the universe was telling you, you've had more. This isn't your only life.
Yeah.
You've got these experiences that have happened before, and more behind you. It was giving you a perspective. It was opening. It was expanding that picture.
Yeah.
On a real visceral level.
I totally agree with that.
Right. That's
my problem I have with that. My fear comes from the feeling that nothing ever finished. Nothing ever came
well,
to
of course
completion.
it didn't. It's never done until it's done.
I guess.
Like I said, how do you know you're done? You don't come back.
Yeah.
If you're here, it's not done. That's axiomatic. That's A equals A. I mean,
Maybe that's what it was saying. Like try harder.
It wasn't probably saying
no.
I wasn't. Okay, let me ask you this: what was your headspace? Whenever you trip, there's space and there's set and setting, right?
Yeah, no.
The setting is where you do it. The set is what you take into it.
I was in a good mood. I think maybe I was tired, but I was in a.
But on a deeper level, where were you at? If absolute depths of depression is 0 and euphoria of being touched by God is 10, where were you?
It was. I know it was winter. Mm-hmm. And so I was probably like, I'm feeling stuck in Wisconsin. I need to get the hell into warm weather. Because I've been wanting to move on from Wisconsin to, especially winter.
Right.
For years.
But what I'm saying is that on a spiritual level, and you might not be aware of it, you might have been blocked. There might have been something that you were bumping into, and it was like, okay, well, let's dose him real good, and we'll throw a few things at him and see if we can shake him out of that.
Yeah.
Your spirit guide was trying, telling you something, and that I think you got a better handle on it. But I think it's not because of the fact that it's different lives and all of that. It's like there's more to this going on. It's not, you're not just locked in this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of lives, you asked me yesterday.
I know where this is going.
we met yesterday, audience.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. We've known each other for 24 hours.
You walked through the door of the studio. If I knew how far back I went.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that tells me that you might have an idea of how far you go back.
Yeah, I do.
Is that what you thought I was going to ask you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 2,025 years.
That sounds right about when Jesus died.
It's exactly when Jesus died. I was, and again, and again, I'm green. This is my first life. I know nothing. I'm an idiot, right? And I was a Roman centurion, okay? Third spear chucker from the left, right? Just nobody, some stupid kid. And we're all standing in ranks. And do you know what decimation is? But it does. If I said if in
something was decimated,
the original the original word decimation came from when Julius Caesar's troops lost a battle. The one guy would walk down and he'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the other 9 guys would beat you to death. Every 10th man, every 10th man. If you lose this battle, 10% of you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's quite a motivator.
Yeah.
And this guy, and who is that? The really tough guy in the movies, like the Dirty Dozen. He was the guy. Always had a crew cut. Was in the Army.
Don't ask me to bring things out of my brain because that's not one of my skills.
But anyway, that's who it was. It looked like him, right? It's the picture that
the guy directing the one.
No, the superior, the officer, right? And he's walking down, and what happened? Now, this is all me putting it together. Originally, it was just the guy. This guy comes walking down, and I'm afraid, and he walks up to me, and he looks at me. And he takes his knife and he kills me. He jabs it right into my chest, right? And kills me. And I thought I'd done something wrong. It's like, why did he kill me? And I finally realized, a few years ago that it was a decimation and he cared enough about me that he didn't want the men.
He didn't want to get beat up.
It was mercy.
Huh.
But that's the underlying. That's the problem I've been working on from then until now, thinking that he was unhappy or that I had done something wrong because I respected him. He was, you know what I'm saying? And in actuality, I finally realized it was mercy. He wasn't punishing me, right? And then the picture went from there, and I see 2 centurions whipping somebody to death, right? And I'm pretty sure that was when Jesus was getting right. So
are you?
That was my first life.
Are you meditating to view these?
No, this was shown to me on the other side. I mean, yeah, this was a dream state.
Okay.
Right. But this was one of them that, again, there's some of them that are dreams that are kind of fuzzy, and then there's some where it's hyper real. I am there. It's not like a dream like most people you would experience. I mean, I'm there. I can feel the rocks under my feet.
You don't have somebody walking through you doing the past life regression. You don't have a
no. This was me. This was a long time. I was maybe in my 20s or 30s when that was shown to me, and I didn't understand it until it took me 15, 20 years.
Yeah, it's weird to be dreaming about centurions and
right.
And all that. Yeah, that's not something I've dreamt of.
Huh?
That's not something I've dreamt of.
No, and like I said, there are certain ones like that. There's been other ones too. I've had a lot of lifetimes where I was soldiers and a lot of lifetimes when I was priests. It's
interesting. It's that path you say that wanders of the
right,
yin yang
exactly,
sort
right.
of stuff
Absolutely,
and all of that.
absolutely.
Yeah, interesting.
And I was absolutely a Templar because that was the point where, they were soldier monks.
Yeah. Wear the cross.
Right. Yeah. So, and
they're
I've
the ones
always
that protected
from
the chalice too, or the.
Yeah, most likely. I mean, Yeah, the Order of the Templars was created by 7 men that went down there with a charter to protect supposedly to protect the pilgrimages going to the Holy Land. But somehow or another, they wound up taking over Jerusalem, and they set up their base of operations on the Rock of the Mount, where the dome is, where Jesus ascended to heaven and Muhammad ascended to heaven, and there's someone else, right? And then they did a whole bunch of work of excavating underneath that, looking for the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Right. And whether they found it or not is depending on whose story you want to believe.
Yeah.
But then they came back, and there was a lot of interesting things with like Rosalind Chapel and some of that was created just after they were destroyed on the 13th of October, Friday the 13th. So, but anyway, yeah, that whole right.
So when you are say somebody's trying to look for some of their past lives, is there? Do you ask before you go to bed?
This is like I said.
It just randomly comes up.
I don't know about randomly. It's just an experience that, right? Like I said,
and it's not random because you'd said before you've been working on this for a long time. I mean,
my whole life.
Yeah.
No,
so things are gonna come up because of the work you've done.
I don't want to come back here again. Okay, I've known that from the beginning. Yeah. This is it.
And I love how you say,
whatever it takes. I don't care. Whatever I have to do, I will. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
I love how you said that instead of just knocking yourself off, why don't I put that energy into
something else? Right?
Something else that's gonna get me there. Really get me there.
Right. I mean, if I kill myself, I'm coming back.
You're coming back.
Right. That's it. It's a catch. I can't win that way. Yeah. That's it. That's not. No. That's it. Period. And I won't give up. I mean, that's it. This is it. I'm not coming back again.
Yeah. What I brought up.
So the other side of the thing with that, though, this is my last. You get it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
so why am I sitting here?
And what I brought up was that when I brought up that dream, you thought I was referring to the gateway thing,
right?
No, I was referring to what you heard.
Right. Oh,
at 3:00 in the morning, you told me you heard something like that. This is your path. You need to talk about it or something like that.
Oh no, like that was a few days ago. That was no. That wasn't today. I thought you were meaning last night. Because I
thought you said last night you went while you were.
Oh no, I woke up this meeting feeling like I'd been tripping last night. The tingling in my forearms and my lower legs, and my head was a little fuzzy. No, something weird. Yeah, something weird happened last night. I haven't processed it yet. Good chance I'll get some information tonight. A lot of this stuff you just got to be patient. You take what comes, you hold it. And you wait to see what comes next, right? Yeah. Like I said, this isn't necessarily my path. It's my path, but that doesn't mean I don't have a map. You got to go off of intuition. You got to go off of knowledge. You go off of, and you open yourself up to being led. And the more the smaller you can make your ego, the less noise you have in your head, the easier it is for them to give you. They'll always give you what you need.
Yeah. So
the universe, what you're looking for is looking for you.
Yeah.
It is trying to help you. It will open the doors.
So let's talk about.
No, just let me finish. You have to get out of your own way. Yeah. That's the whole point. We're so attached to this that we think this is real and we won't let go. And once you like this, nothing can get out, but nothing can get in. But once you
open.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you.
So we'll talk about how we met because
sure.
I told you yesterday I had sat on the meditation cushion because I had a walk with my dogs and I was frustrated and I felt stuck. And it was ugly. It was ugly feeling. It was a totally depressed feeling that I'd never felt for ever.
Right.
And so I sat on the meditation cushion. And I was like, all right, God,
what's going on?
Universe, whatever. Tell me the next steps.
Right.
And I was like, and don't whisper it to me.
Right.
I'm not one to understand the whispers.
Right.
Be blatant.
Right.
You know.
Tell me.
And then you walk in my door. And we start talking.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, all right, I'll tell you what mine is, but I have to go back a little further, right?
Yeah, okay.
When I was starting high school and in high school, a lot of things happened. The universe uses pain, mental, on all three levels to motivate you. If you get stuck, it'll kick you. And that's just the way it works, all right? And it hurts, and it has no mercy. Because it wants you back. It wants, you know what I'm saying? So, but I thought about being a minister. I mean, to actually get up there and lead people and all that. And I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I did my thing. And I suddenly realized that it's absolutely okay. The answer came to me. It's okay to play roulette with my soul. So at the time, I was starting to look at Eastern religions, and being that I was Christianity, that's verboten, right? You know, that's
right. Yeah.
tantamount to playing with the devil.
Right. That's why people don't come in to meditate.
Right.
But if I had like quiet hour.
Right. But I'm saying, but nevertheless, in that moment, I said
Eastern.
I wasn't sure, and what came to me was I have every right to play roulette with my own soul, but I do not have the right to play roulette with your soul. So if I'm actually going to get up and preach or say my thing, I have to be absolutely, unequivocally certain that I'm not going to lead you astray. There's only one sin that that God will not forgive, and that is using the name of Christ to lead people away from God. Okay? That is the only one that there is no forgiveness for that. And so when I realized that, I said, okay, so I have walked alone. Now, that's in quotes. I mean, I've never gathered people around. I will talk to people that want to talk, but I'm very careful to talk to that individual. And it's been that way for a long, long time. And, but just, within the last 8-10 days, again, I was in the dream state, and I suddenly I was preaching, and I felt good. I mean, I felt right. It felt absolutely natural that I should be there doing that. And so I was permission.
Yeah, it's permission.
You're right. It's whether it's my subconscious.
And that was just in the last 7 or 8 days.
Less than that, probably. Yeah, within just the last few days. Yeah, absolutely. And afterwards, I got up the next morning, and I knew it, and I started thinking. And from then until I walked into here, I was trying to decide. You know, should I become a minister again? I mean, should I go to a church and become a part of that? Should I, what should I do, right? I mean, okay, I have the knowledge, I have the desire, I have the will. Now, how should it manifest? And I walked into here.
Yeah.
Because
there's not a door or anything there's no sign on the door or anything that says anything about podcasting.
No.
You just walk into a random business.
I wanted to see. Actually, I want to know what her name is. Okay? Literally, she brought me here. Literally, she brought me here from the way I see the world. Because I want to know what her name. I almost brought her picture today. Because I want to know who that is, right? I know her. She knows me. I'm not tell you about the dreams I've had with her. And the other one, there's the one that's this is air, the one that right next to it, fire. You know, one is my beautiful lady, and the other one's my love.
Air and fire.
Huh?
Air and fire.
Yes. Oh,
remember
I told you about?
You told me her name.
Not this one.
Oh, this is a different one.
Which one are you pointing at?
I guess the one on
the Dakini. Well,
Dakini,
yeah. I was telling you more about what I don't know the name.
It is. You don't know
what it is, right? Yeah. But remember I told you the dreams about the different openings, right? Yeah. Well, I didn't tell you about the one with the eyes opening, right?
We never worked our way all the way up there.
Right. There's one left. I'm willing to tell you it now.
Maybe we should leave it for another podcast.
No, like that. Today we're just going.
We're gonna tease everybody. You're right, exactly.
Today we're just going all over. Whether we use this one or not is or we can use pieces of it, whatever we want to do. Yeah. But for today we're I'm learning what this is. We can see it. This is just for fun, or maybe not. This may be something that who knows. I'm not going to worry about that. But I told you about the horny toad on the bottom of the water, Earth,
and then
the frog, right? Frog King, I call him. Yeah. But also the pictures I can see in my mind. I can even see it right now. The delta and the it's just gorgeous, right? And then that was water. Fire was the tubes with the transcending up to the air riding in the Pegasus, and then the last one is the half step to here, right? But I'm climbing this huge basalt face, right, up the mountain, right? And we're climbing and I'm climbing and I'm climbing, and all of a sudden it's the top, and I pull myself up, and there's a flat space and a bleacher, and all the people are going, "Hey, another one made it! Come on up here, give me your hand." Pulls me up, right, up onto the shelf in front of this grandstand. And then they take me up into the grandstand and they set me down in the seat. And, "Congratulations, you made it. It's so good to have you here. It's wonderful. You know, you did the work." And I look out and I can see forever. And it's like mountains, beautiful mountains, and blue sky and white snow on them. I mean, it's just breathtaking. And when I first got up, I turned around and looked down, and it's like 2 miles down, right? I'm just top of the world, high as you can believe. And I'm sitting there for a while, and it's like, well, I don't know, this is okay, but I don't know if I want to, I'm going to sit in
I made it.
You guys sit in the bleachers? I mean, come on, guys. Seriously? And I got up and I walked down to the railing, right? And there's this guy standing there, and I said, do I have to stay here? And he looks at me and says, "Oh, okay. No, you don't. Nope." I said, "Really?" "Nope." I said, "Wonderful." And I turn around and I walk along the railing, and you get to the edge of the bleachers, and there's this little door, right? And I step up and I look, and it's straight down. I mean, there's no place to step, but there's like a fence that goes up this way. So I reach around and I grab the fence and I swing myself out around, and my feet hit the ground, and I kick forward, and I'm on the ground. I'm on this path outside of the bleachers. And the last thing I remember is just wandering up the path. What I really want to know right now is, where is that part of me sitting right now? Because I kind of lost track of it. I haven't seen it since, and that's the last of it right there.
And what's the? Why did the person go? Oh,
like one of those? Because there's a very few of us that reminds me. Like, people get to that point because the third eye. Everybody wants to open the third eye. I'm going to have magical powers. Sorry, wrong. That's not the way it works. No. The third eye doesn't look outward, it looks inward.
Aha.
It's the moment where you get the point where you are in control of, in other words, I can stop my thoughts. When they come up, I can see them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The best example of that.
Chasing again.
Best example of that is Shiva. When Shiva, they see these guys, the Shiva acolytes, they've got the ashes on them, right? You remember those sadhus in India? Okay. They walk around all the time. A lot of times they'll get the ashes from the cremation, and they'll rub it on themselves, and they that's the way. A lot of times they're naked, right? They're just covered in ashes. Well, that's because when Shiva opened his eye, it turned inward. And he burned all of his karma in one moment, and there was so much flame and heat and all that the ashes came right out through his skin. So they're emulating that thing that the third eye opens and it turns inside. we can't do that. We're not gods. We have to work our way through all of those things. So we're pretty much cleared out by the time we get there. And then but when it turns in, then you can, that's culmination, right? There's one step beyond that. And that's where I sit right now, is probably somewhere right in here. And that's the one that sits here, the seventh chakra, which sits above your head, outside of your body. And if you heard about people who've had this experience of going beyond, they talk about it, Ezekiel talks about it in the Bible, where he went beyond and saw the wheels within wheels and the way the universe works. You literally, at that point, your ego completely drops away, and you realize that the universe is one, and you merge with it. The thing is that mostly happens, most people don't live through that experience, but a few can do it, and then they come back and they're the super holy, right? And so, but the thing is you basically have to die on one level or another, because your ego can't leave your body. Your awareness can, but your ego can't. And that's, yeah. So where am I right now? I'm sitting out there looking for, and there's only two ways to make that transition. One is to be absolutely crazy and just throw yourself off the cliff, right? Just run up and throw yourself off. The other is to have a guru, someone that you love and trust and loves and trusts you to the point where they say, jump, and you jump because of the relationship you have there, right? Those are the two accepted ways of being able to do it.
Yeah, when you were telling me about that dream, I have very similar.
That was
one that's recurring.
Right. That came out really well. Excuse me. I just had that really flowed nice. I really felt good about that one.
Mine, there's two paths up the mountain, and one of them is a pretty regular hike up, and the other one has the cliff that you have to kind of
climb, right?
Jump around. Like you're saying,
yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Really?
Yep.
Sweet.
and it's a recurring thing, and sometimes I take that
right
easy one, and I'm able to get through. Sometimes I take the difficult one, and I get through no problem. Sometimes a lot of times I take the difficult one, and I don't try it.
Right.
And sometimes I try it and I don't succeed.
Right.
And I wake up.
Right.
But yeah, so something's there with me too, working through that.
No, that's interesting. That's very interesting, especially when it's juxtaposed with your with the one you told me before. You can touch your past lives. Those are your past lives. But you don't see them direct.
I agree with that, because
I'm there for a second, right? I'm in myself back then. You have a more philosophical, you see it more philosophically. Some of them, like me, you've got two also, right? Priests, that's the road. That's that path. Warriors.
Jump.
That's the other one, right? There's your. Now, it may not be priests and warriors for you, right? But, you got to figure out what yours is. Don't read into it. I'm just saying that mirrors mine in whatever your experience is.
But it's still yin yang. It's just it's cyclical.
The whole system.
It's over there.
No, the whole system is it's built. It's imprinted on your body as three paths running up through the chakras. The Sushumna, which runs up and down through your spine. Then the Ida and Pingala, which go back and forth like this, like the medical caduceus. Isn't it interesting that we have that symbol for our medicine, and it is the traditional expression of the path that we walk through these lifetimes.
We should figure out where that symbol came from.
Oh, it's ancient.
Yeah.
It is ancient. But okay. And so there's always two. And the two have to every time I do this, I've got another story, but I won't.
But we like stories.
No, huh?
We like stories.
Yeah, well, I'm Mr. Metaphor, but anyway, because it's easier. It's like that. The whole religion is in one picture. You don't need 15 books. If you can, pictures, give so much information so quickly and simply. But there's always that, and one is logic and reason, and the other is magic, and you go to make your way up. And as you're working your way up through each of these, and wherever they cross, that's the three cross, the triple cross, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the chakras. Those are where those all come together. Each one of those is one of the chakras going up. Right. And so that's it.
You mentioned yesterday too about those chakras cross, or they cross at the same place where musical.
Well, no, it's just interesting that the music. Yeah. Well, in the whole universe is vibration. That's at least one way we can look at it. That's and so we are one octave in the universal spectrum of vibration. 8 notes.
Yeah.
Right. And so on the scale of music, you have C, whole note, half step, whole note, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step. And it's, that's, if you look at a musical notes, it's done by sharps and flats, right? And so, and it's the chakras are the exact same way. You've got earth, then you have the half a step, and that sets at the Muladhara sets at the space between your the little taint, if they call it that, right? That's where
the taint.
Right. Yeah. That's where it sets. And that's stone. Stone, you can touch it, but you can't penetrate it. It's all boom, right? Then there's the next half step is the sexual organs, right? And that has to and then the next half step above that is water. Water flows, takes the shape of whatever it goes into. You can swim inside of it. It can come into you and go out of you, right? Then the next one above that, a whole step, is fire, heart, right here. Fire, and water always flows downhill. Water always flows downhill, right? Fire burns heat, warmth, it rises, right? So it's natural as that. It consumes whatever it's a part of, but it floats, it goes up. Full step from there to here. Full step from here to air. Totally entropy all around us. We breathe it in, almost no resistance, you can float through it. Air. See how they're getting more and more subtle the higher we go? Half step to the third eye, to this one. Same way in music. It's a half step. And that one is the ability to look within, to change your own being, and to be aware of all these things. Carl Jung calls it individuation. And then the last is a half step to the one above us, space. The most subtle, everything happens within it. Nothing exists without it. Those are the 7 chakras. And they perfectly mirror the same, the notes on a scale. Right? As far as their distances apart and their relative frequencies.
Yeah. I have to go to the bathroom again.
Yeah. Oh my God! It's 1:15. We've been.
Hour and 48 minutes in. Well,
you want to know? You want to see some other things?
Max 45 minutes.
No, well, whenever. I'm just here and you want to see something else that's crazy?
You got scars?
No.
Is this from former lives?
You see my palm? You see the M?
Yeah, I was kind of missing that one.
Yeah, it's there. It's kind of in today for some reason. Normally it's a lot clearer, but yeah, there's on both hands. That supposedly means something. I'm not real familiar, but it's supposedly
that one is a long lifeline. Right?
But it's this thing that.
So the lifeline on mine, there's like
Yeah,
3
you
or
got
4
it.
different paths.
You got it too.
Because a lot of people's lifeline is really strong.
Right.
Mine like breaks apart and
Oh,
has
yeah.
several different
Possible
paths down
endings.
here. Right. It's like the balls of lives rolling
Right.
through, right? Which one?
Well, there you go.
What am I gearing up for, right?
Who knows? Yeah.
So is there anything you want to talk about further? Like today?
No,
or-
I'm just floating around
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I just, these are all things.
love it. I think it's great.
mean, who knows? Maybe I won't have anything to say. Maybe this is it. This is the whole picture.
You never know.
No, other than, no, not really. I'm just sitting. I wasn't sure. I came not expecting anything. I just said I would come in and to myself and
Yeah.
let her roll.
It's
see what
funny.
happens.
I usually like when I sit down with somebody to talk, I like clam up on the microphone or something. I don't know if it's the video or the mic or whatever, but and I can't get anything out of my brain, and I like, oh, what's that word? I'm trying to think of that. I can't
Yeah, I know that.
But
well.
I seem to be having not an issue
Right.
so much with you, just kind of like jamming, chit chatting a little bit.
That's
so
what
this
is
good.
that.
It's good energy.
That's the. You definitely put your finger on her there.
Yeah.
It's good energy.
Good energy. Good spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good spirit. I'd say we call it for today.
That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah, a couple hours, and it gives us something to go on, and
Right.
we can
right.
talk about what's next,
Right.
and we can
No,
flesh
I've
out
hit pretty.
some of this
we've
stuff.
hit
and-
pretty much a lot of it. I mean, we've certainly gone across the whole gamut.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there's stories we can pluck out of all of this,
Oh,
though,
yeah.
and
Right.
press further and kind of flesh out.
Oh no! We
Yeah.
can go all kinds of different places.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a problem. But I mean, definitely hit the bones.
Oh, good.
Definitely got the bones out as far as that. And like I said, I don't know. I've never done this, so I don't know like the editing process and all
Yeah,
that.
well, I'll
sort of
just
thing.
throw this
So-
together,
Right.
and I'll probably what I'll do is I'll put it on YouTube on a private setting so that you can see it privately, and it's not going to go out to public, and we can just kind of like leave it there, use it as idea generation, cut a little bit out here and there if we want to put
Right.
put it up as a podcast.
Sure.
Yeah, but at least you'll be able to see it, and
Right.
and it's mostly unedited. I'll probably take out the bathroom breaks, whatever.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's fine with me. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, and then I'm open to doing this several times.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
no, and I mean, like, yeah, absolutely. I'm definitely. I thought about doing this a few years ago on my own when the thing came out, but just didn't pursue it. Partly because I didn't have the equipment and all that sort of thing, and half the time I was out on the road, and it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't touch on any of your teaching experience.
Right.
Your
I've done a lot of different things.
your shrine in the truck, or not, I don't know if you had a shrine in there, but
No,
your
it was
quiet
just a
space,
cave,
your
just
cave in the
my
truck,
cave,
yeah, that you
right.
meditate.
No, I did.
Is it- what?
I had one with. I bought one with I had my own truck. I bought my own truck, and I had like 3 of them all. But I took the lower bunk out. And I put a Lazy Boy recliner in behind my driver's seat, and then I made a place on the other side with a microwave and a television and stereo. So I had my little rolling apartment.
It's awesome.
So I actually lived for one whole year with no apartment or anything.
Really?
Just was in the truck, and then when if I wanted some time out, I just rent a motel room.
Yeah. I have a camper that I pull when I train folks all over the country, and then recently I parked it for the winter and then had to stay in the hotel.
Right.
And I hated it. I could
You
not
got a
sleep.
place-
The bed was hard, sucked. Just wasn't comfortable. I wanted my own stuff wasn't in there.
Right.
It just coffee sucked. Et cetera, et cetera. I'm like, give me my home, give me my camper bed.
Do you have a place you're living now, or?
Yeah, we live in La Crosse here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anything about your
Locally,
life. Let's,
yeah.
I mean, I'm single, just live by myself, as you would expect.
I'm partnered of 8 years.
Oh, okay.
And my youngest son just got married
Mm-hmm.
in Eastern Pennsylvania,
Okay.
which was an amazing wedding.
Yeah.
Great wife. So
Mm-hmm.
really fun in-laws. So it'll be hopefully a nice lifelong thing
There
with
you
him.
go.
That'd
Right.
be good. Got 3 dogs, Great Pyrenees, old mutt who the Great Pyrenees likes to try to chomp. So we have to keep them separate.
Oh, really?
And then a little 10-pound cheapom. So
Yeah,
that
okay.
fills us out there. Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got my oldest is in. I told you I got 3 adopted kids. Oldest has got some issues, so he's hopefully gonna be getting out of prison in the next couple of years.
Oh, okay.
And then he's got some drug stuff going on. So I know you mentioned quickly, and then I have a third kid who's like middle of those two, mid-20s, upper 20s now, who's doing great in Iowa, holding down a job, has the same house apartment for a long time. But yeah, you'd mentioned that you had a rock bottom addiction or something, right?
Alcohol, primarily.
Was it alcohol?
Yeah.
And you got out of that.
Yep.
How many years
For what?
have you been out of that? The recovery, I guess?
30,
30-something, so a long time.
20, 32, 34.
Did you use like AA? Did you do it
No.
yourself?
I was out in Oregon. My wife and I, I've got 2 daughters. My wife, we lived out in Oregon, and she came back here, and I was living up in Sumter, and I had an experience where I should have probably died. I mean, basically, if I'd have fallen asleep on my back, I'd be dead. And I realized that this is too much. And the other thing was, that made me stop and look at my life. And I looked around and I said, I've changed where I've lived. I've changed what I've done. I've changed who I hang out with. I've changed everything I can change. The only thing that's been consistent is I've had one of these in my hand all the way through. And I'm not getting anywhere like where I want to go.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe that's the problem. So I tried setting it down on my own and couldn't. I realized I couldn't put it down. So I said to myself, well, I got the white man's disease. I'll take the white man's cure. And I called up the hospital. This is kind of funny. I said, hello. I said, hi, I'd like to talk to somebody in your drug and alcohol department. Okay, no problem. Put it through. And I said, hi, what can I do for you? I said, I'd like to come in and take a drug assessment test. Okay, who is this for? Is it a particular judge? No, I'm just doing it. Are you sure? I mean, did the police tell you have to do this? They wouldn't believe that I was just wanted to come in and take one of these, right? So finally I got that all worked out, and I went in, and the guy said, oh, hi, and he started talking to me about it. And he says, why are you here? I said, well, on drug assessment, I think I might have an issue. He says, how much do you drink? So I honestly told him. And he was like, okay. It's like, how much beer do you drink? Well, am I drinking whiskey at the same time or just the beer? He says, let's just say it's a day where you're just drinking beer. I'd say a case and maybe another 12-pack for the day, or maybe a little more, about that. How about if you're drinking whiskey? Oh, well, half a bottle or a bottle, and then probably close to a couple 12-packs. He's like, whoa, okay. And then he asked me about, have you done harder drugs? I absolutely. Marijuana, how much do you smoke? 3, 4, 5 times a day? No, definitely. How about psychedelics? Yep, done psychedelics. Well, how many times? I don't know how to answer that question. I mean, are you talking LSD or mescaline or peyote? And he says, what do you mean? Well, there's no way I could tell you how much I've done all of them, but I could probably give you an estimate on each one. I got halfway through that, and he puts his book down and says, you absolutely qualify. If you want to come to our meeting, you're more than welcome. That was my drug assessment. How many times have you done LSD? 200, 250 probably. How many times have you done mushrooms? More than that.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I once again, balls to the wall. There's no holding back.
Well, when you are to the point where you can check yourself in and realize it.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, that's telling you're working on something.
Yeah, yeah, it's like this ain't working anymore.
Yeah.
I got to do something different.
Yeah. I never had like a huge issue with alcohol.
Right.
I'm the kind of guy that like I like the taste of it. Beer and wine.
Right.
I was never much of a hard
Well,
alcohol guy. And
go ahead.
And I would I would stay up for that final quarter,
Right.
of the game and have another beer, another
Right.
glass of wine. I'd wake up like, oh, I had too much every day, every night.
No,
Wouldn't miss a night.
For me, it wasn't ever, I didn't even think about that. I was more like Jim Morrison. I got up in the morning and opened a beer,
Yeah, no, I never
beer
did
for
that.
breakfast.
Never interfered with work really, other than feeling a little shitty
Right.
the next day until it wore off, whatever. But and then like a little over 4 years ago, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
Just put
No,
it
I
down.
did that. And I know a big part
Haven't
of it
touched
was
since either. So
had a weird, we moved around a lot when I was a kid. My dad was working his way, got his PhD and all that kind of stuff, and we were moving. And so that's a big part of it. And then high school, I had one really bad year. I lost my grandfather, and through about 90 days later, not less than that. I lost Grandpa in September. At Christmas, I lost my best friend. And best friend to me, when I say that, because we moved so much, I didn't have friends like that. So this was like the first best friend I'd had in 10 years or more. And then in the spring, I'd always wanted to drive stock car, and I was working for a guy, Glad Huber ran the Union 76 station, and we were building a stock car together. And we'd been ice racing all winter, and we were to get me ready for it. He says, if you can drive on ice, you can really drive on pavement. And we were going to get I had a couple of little cars that we used for that, and we were going to start doing gymkhanas with the Sports Car Club of America. And he was going to get his license back. And went down and got a physical, and they told him to lose a little weight, and he went out to jog, and that was that. So that was my junior year of high school. So from that moment, then after that, that's then my senior year. First day of school, I literally was out at Neshonic. I was at West Salem, and I grabbed a bottle of whiskey and drank about a quarter of it. And they're, oh, you're going to get thrown out because they're going to know you're. I said, no. If I show up drunk the first day, they'll expect it. That'll be the me that they know, right? Yeah, and then from there into all that stuff I just told you about that I said
so you
that
were
was 18,
upper 20s,
so that would be
low 30s or something when you quit.
30,
30.
yeah. Started when I was 17, 18. I mean, really, that's when I fell in because Eric, the kid that was the young man that was my best friend, was hung out with a bunch of these guys, and they were Mike Collins, his older brother, was the one that he was supplying like the school with stuff, and so all of a sudden the doors just.
So Mike Collins was
I shouldn't probably be using
was
names.
his mother a lawyer?
No, they were quite. Why do you say that?
It's just an experience I had as a dean.
No, not at all. We were the rich ones, quote unquote. My dad was a college professor, and my mom was a director of Title I program at school, right? And
What was your dad a professor of?
At UWL
Of
in education.
in education?
Yeah, he was. He did mostly graduate work, and then did research in like hunter ethics and that kind of
When
stuff.
you came back for your philosophy degree, what year was that?
90, early 90s. Why?
I started in math
Mm-hmm.
in the 88, September of 88. And then I got kicked out because I failed a 5-credit calculus course.
Right.
That was 89, I think I got kicked out. And when I came back,
That's when I was out in Oregon.
when I came back, I came back as a philosophy major early 90s
Oh, really?
for about a year, and then I went to English.
Right.
I quit 92 or something like that. And I took 3 years off. No, I quit probably 90. Came back in 92 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
3. I graduated in 95, December
okay.
95. So probably there when you were.
Yeah, very good. Very likely. Very likely. I'm trying to remember some of the other teachers that were up there. Ken Molly, I know, but just because he was such a
that
big part.
name, I recognize that.
And I really enjoyed the head of the department, but his name escapes me right now.
Yeah. I could tell you the English
Right.
ones, but not
Right.
really the philosophy.
Yeah. No, and that was about the time. Actually, I went and did the philosophy right after I did the treatment. It was kind of like, in my mind, kind of a continuation of that.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense.
I was trying to get myself back on the right path.
Yeah.
And so rather than just throw myself back out into it, I tried to put myself in a different environment.
So the Methodist path didn't help you through that at all? It was more of
As far as what, though?
helping you through the alcoholism
or
the loss of your friends?
That was kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It didn't, because it held me together through it. It's about the best way I could say it. That having that root, that keel, kept me from just spiraling totally out into. I mean, I had that thing that held me together, right? But as far as the waves on the surface and all that, no, it was utter chaos. And it was, but on the other side, again, like I said, between the age of birth and 16, I lived in 8 different places. Okay.
No.
So to me, in fact, and it's been a real facet of my life, I've had to consciously break this, but I expect the world to explode every 2 years. And for a while, I think I would actually probably, make it happen, or at least not encourage it or not stop it or whatever. So there was that constant. But on the other side of the coin, for the path, that never allowed my ego to solidify into a rock solid thing, right? I didn't, because what are the elements that bolster and create an ego? Most of it is the people you hang around with, the opinions of others and their picture of you. It's incredible how much we live our lives according to this story of who we're supposed to be. Right. And that is one of the other reasons why some of this stuff I don't want people to take to heart, because you have to be in a place where if you're that rigid and it'll destroy that thing, you don't know who you are. It's then you go mad. In fact, when I was in the truck driving, I was going through Tennessee, and I felt my mind come apart because I had been alone for so long. It's like a monk in a cave meditating, or Jesus, like I said yesterday. You have to let go of all of that stuff to go beyond a certain point. I think part of with the drugs was another one that kept my ego from solidifying into a rock, because a rock shatters if you put too much stress on it. You got to have something that's much softer, malleable to walk this path. And like I said, I was driving through there, and I there was not the me I thought I was didn't exist anymore, because there was no structure around it holding it together. And so you can't, I don't think a person can literally, that's why they do these challenges, go spend 100 days alone in a cabin and we'll give you $1 million. Most people can't do it. Because if you take away that structure around you that keeps your ego together, it flies apart. And if you're not ready for that, it's an experience that you can't imagine. It's devastating. You want to, that people commit suicide because of that. Yeah. It takes a real unique life. And the other thing is like, but a monk has the other monks and the abbot and the I am a monk, right? In other words, that becomes your ego. That gives you that, at least that kernel to hold on to. I'm all alone in a truck. I got nothing except whatever I have, you know. So, yeah. But what I was used to, I was used to being alone. I'm used to walking into a group of people I don't know and finding my way into it, right? I was very young. I got very good at creating ego states. Have you ever heard of ego state therapy?
Not therapy, no.
Okay. Well, it was done. Erickson, the guy that from down in Australia, kind of came up with it. And basically, he says that we have all these different ego states, right? Take a guy, he's in the church choir. Wouldn't think of swearing, right? Very kind, all of this. Take that same guy in the locker room after a softball game, snapping towels, telling off-color jokes, because it's appropriate to that environment. So we wind up creating these different ego states for the environment we find ourselves in, right? Most of them are pretty seamless. They flow together. You flow into one. There's not a big change. There's just little things, right? But now take somebody that grew up in a household where they were abused, and they've got that ego state that's fit and is perfectly acceptable and reasonable in that environment. But then they're also in school. They've got a totally separate one in there. And if those two get far enough apart, they don't talk to each other anymore. Split personality, right? So that's basic underlying ego state therapy.
So it's just recognizing that there are those different states.
No, you actually go in and work with them. Oh. They used hypnosis originally for it, but and it took me many years to find this, but Carl Jung also did a very similar thing, which he called active imagination, where he'd sit back and relax and go, okay, does anyone want to talk to me? That's strange. You do this sometime and wait, and a voice will talk to you.
Huh.
And you can find these different things in your subconscious, these different ego states, because some of them, after they're no longer useful, they don't just go away. They're down in your subconscious, right?
Does anyone want to talk to me?
And then they will, and when they come out, so a lot of the things you wind up doing that you don't understand why you did it, it's one of them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they come up and influence you, or that's why Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. You think it's fate. But it's not. It's those voices, those things that are down here.
Ego states.
Right. That's just a way to find them, but it's a definition. It gives you a good picture. Very useful. Very useful. And that one I learned a lot from that. I got all the books on that.
Yeah, sort of the mind representation for like fat cells, people that they're doing studies and they're finding out that,
right.
Once you're in that, your cells recognize that fat cell state, then they're craving to get in that state again. It's kind of like that. That's the physical manifestation of it, but then you got the psychological, the ego states. Same thing.
Alchemists.
Yeah.
As above, so below. There's a state, or Mandelbrot, the fractals. There's a level, like moving up and down these, right? Here, you're there. You're solid. You're there, right? On that. Then it dissolves into chaos, and then there's a coherency, and there's another point where it all makes sense again. And then it's up. And then, and so there's those different points.
The DMT world.
Absolutely. Or like you said, I talked about the psychological states. You related it to the body. So those are three of the states, right?
Yeah.
One above the other.
Yeah.
But yet the principle that works on this level will work on this level. There comes a point, it was really cool when I figured this out, you can anticipate the next level by observing the one you're on. Or if you get up and you're working your way into this one and you're all confused and can't figure it out, think about the same situation as it's expressed on the level below, because it will express itself in the same way, as above, so below.
We'll have to talk about specific examples.
Oh, I've got hundreds of these. No, but like I said, this is one I really enjoy, and it's one that really made a difference and kept me sane as these things, because the whole point of the true spiritual quest is to dissolve, let go of, work through each of those things till they're gone.
Yeah.
Until you're sitting there, just you sitting there. There's nothing else. There's no voices. There's nothing pushing you. That's when you're sitting there, totally calm, totally relaxed, present in the moment, completely. Because there are no voices coming up from below, trying to work through their traumas or their extreme highs, you know. There are people who get addicted to something they're good at. That's as much of a that can screw you up as much as we're so trained to think of the negative things fucking up our lives, being totally, you know, somebody who's got their PhD and I'm Mr. Bob, right? That's as much as a trap as having drank yourself into a coma 6 nights a week for 20 years. The each one of them is just an ego state that you're living through. Right.
I love that.
It's reality. I mean,
politics.
All I've ever looked for.
We see it in the social regulation.
The last thing that needs to be said is this. Truth with a capital T is always true. Truth with a small t is relative. If you look for the capital T truth, that's what brings you out. All those things down low, those are all relative. An ego state is created for a particular environment, and it fits in that environment. It's maladjusted when you try to live with that ego state in a different situation, right? And that causes problems. How do you know truth? It rings. When you tap it, you take a goblet, fine crystal, ding, that's true. If you go, punk, punk, that's not. Put that into application and you'll go places.
We'll have to talk about how that's seen.
This is what I live for. This is me. This is I've spent my whole life to be here.